Unbelievable secrets of Egyptian myths revealed, 3 a.m. terrors you never knew. In the shadowy depths of the ancient pyramids, where the air is thick with dust and secrets, a chilling legend waits to be uncovered. They say that at 3 a.m., when the moon looms large and pale, the spirits of those long-gone pharaohs rise from their tombs, shadows flickering in the moonlight, restless far more than mere mortals could ever imagine. Imagine walking down the desolate streets of Cairo, the wind whispering tales old as time. An unease creeps into your bones, a gnawing feeling that you're being watched. What buried beneath those stones? What kept hidden from the world? Could it be the mummified remains of a ruler, cursed by treachery? Imagine the shimmering gold, the intricate hieroglyphs, with tales of vengeance scribbled in blood. One could almost hear their cries echoing softly, as if warning us of the dangers that trouble their restless slumber. A night spent near the Sphinx may lead you to catch a glimpse of a spectral figure cloaked, gaunt, eyes burning like embers in the darkness, searching for lost treasures or stolen secrets, but wait, it gets stranger. The locals speak in hushed tones about a secretive cult, one that worships the ancient gods and sets rituals in the dead of night. They claim, with shaking voices, that members have seen phantoms dance upon the dunes, shimmering in the moonlight like intricate illusions. Could it be true? Or is it just lore, stretched over years into folklore, blending fear and fascination with every retelling? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As the clock strikes 3, the atmosphere shifts. An icy chill sweeps through the alleys, making hair stand on end. You can almost hear the whispers of lost souls, their stories woven into the fabric of time. Somewhere, deep within the sand, lies an ancient object and artifact said to hold the power of life and death. Curious minds have ventured far and wide, but they never return. What really happened to them? Suddenly, you feel the weight of 1,000 eyes upon you, shadows creeping closer. Will you find out the truth hiding behind those daunting walls? What terrors could truly awaken in the dark, when the clock strikes 3? The sound of a distant scream shattered the eerie silence as if the very sand itself screamed in terror. It echoed off the ancient stone walls, mixing with the hushed gasps of onlookers gathered beyond the pyramid's entrance. Their faces, illuminated by flickering candlelight, were a blend of shock and morbid curiosity. The deep shadows seemed to twist around them, closing in an audience for a grim show they never signed up for. Maya stood frozen, heart pounding in her chest. She felt as though the darkness had reached out to snatch her breath away. What was that? She whispered to Alex, who stood beside her, his wide eyes betraying fear beneath a veneer of calm. I don't know, he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. A gust of wind swept through the narrow passage, carrying with it the scent of jasmine mixed with the dust of ages long gone. Maya could almost feel the air vibrating with despair, the flickering lights casting ghostly shapes on the stone shapes that seemed to reach for her, pull her in closer to the unknown. Do you think it's true? The cult? Maya asked, her mind racing with every whispered story she had heard. The cult that worshipped the old gods, the ritual sacrifices. Could they be responsible? Alex shuddered, glancing back at the throng. We should leave, now. But even as he spoke, an unseen force pulled at her feet, almost daring her to venture further into the abyss of the pyramid. She took a step forward, reckless curiosity overcoming her fear. The thrill of discovery, of unraveling the dark legend, felt like a siren song. The tunnel opened into a vast chamber, the ceiling arching high above them, reaching into darkness. The walls were lined with faded carvings, images of pharaohs in procession toward the afterlife, but their eyes seemed to follow her every move. It felt alive here, as if the past was thrumming just beneath the surface, waiting to awaken. Maya and Alex exchanged nervous glances, but it was too late to turn back now. It hit her, the ancient artifact they spoke of, the one that had lured so many here. What if it lay just ahead, basking in the moonlight that filtered through a crevice in the stone? As they slowly moved deeper, a low whisper curled through the air, chilling them to the bone. "Leave while you can." Did you hear that? Maya's heart raced. "Someone's here." Alex nodded, sweat beading on his forehead. "We need to go. Now." But before they could retreat, a figure emerged from the shadows, a gaunt apparition cloaked in tattered linen, its eyes glowing with an unearthly light. It pointed toward them, an ancient message lost to time dancing upon its dry lips. Maya felt a cold dread settle over her, tightening her chest. "Stop!" she cried, but terror screamed louder than her voice as she stumbled backward, feeling the stony wall press against her. The specter advanced, gliding toward them with an ethereal grace. Was it a guardian? A warning? Or something much more sinister? Just as the figure drew near, it let out a bone-chilling wail that pierced the thick air, a sound of despair that sent both Maya and Alex scrambling for the exit. Their minds raced, grasping for sanity amidst chaos. As they fled back toward the entrance, shadows danced and twisted, mocking their retreat. Outside, the crowd surged, eyes wide with excitement and horror, oblivious to what awaited them in the dark. Maya glanced back at the ominous entrance, breathless. What was that? But the answer pulled her back in the promise of truth mingled with the echo of an ancient curse. And in that moment, she knew there was no turning back. What had she awakened? As the moon hung heavy in the sky, the weight of their discovery bore down like a stone, and behind them, the gates to the unthinkable slowly creaked open. They stumbled out into the night, gasping for breath, the crowd's chaotic energy contrasting sharply with the unnerving stillness they had just fled. Maya's heart raced, each thud echoing in her ears, the adrenaline making her feel both alive and terrified. The whispers lingered in her mind, a siren's call that promised knowledge but felt infused with danger. What just happened? Alex gasped, running a shaking hand through his hair, eyes wide and darting, searching the darkness for the specter they had just escaped. I don't know," Maya managed to say, her voice trembling. "But we can't just leave it like that. What if others go in? What if it awakens something worse? Are you insane? We should warn everyone," he urged, his eyes scanning the excited faces of the crowd, unaware of what lurked beneath the surface of that ancient stone. The crowd buzzed with speculation, some eager, others frightened. "Did you see that?" someone shrieked, gripping the arm of a friend, wide-eyed. "I heard it scream." Maya felt a tug in her gut, like a magnetic pull urging her back toward the dark maw of the pyramid. "We have to go back. We have to find out what that thing wanted," she said, her voice gathering strength despite the fear twisting inside her. Alex shook his head vehemently, fear stark in his expression. "You want to go back into that nightmare? I can't believe you'd even suggest it. It could be dangerous." Maya's resolve hardened. "But it could also be crucial. Those people deserve to know, and I deserve to understand." Even as she spoke, an unshakable doubt clawed at her mind. What if her curiosity had unleashed a force beyond their control? "Please," Alex's tone softened as he searched her eyes. "I don't want anything to happen to you. We can just go somewhere safe." "Safe?" She laughed humorlessly, the sound edged with fear. "There's no safe place anymore. Not with what we found." As she turned to face the pyramid again, shadows flickered across the stone surface, as if alive. They wove patterns that confounded her. Was that the outline of the figure they encountered? Or were her eyes playing tricks on her? The crowd shifted restlessly, a wave of energy pulling them forward. Furtive glances sparkled in the candlelight. "Someone's going back in," a woman yelled, and the throng erupted in chatter. "Wait!" Maya shouted, raising her hands as a few curious souls began to edge toward the entrance again, the allure of the unknown overwhelming. "Don't go in alone. But it was too late. A man had already made the decision. Darkness swallowed him whole as he stepped inside. This is ridiculous. Alex bit out, but his grip on her arm anchored her. As the crowd leaned forward, an agitated murmur washed over them. Then, a scream pierced the air once more, a sound not unlike the one that had driven them to flight earlier. Panic erupted as people scrambled back, falling over one another in a desperate attempt to flee. Maya felt her chest tighten again, the fear flooding in, but underneath it was a flicker of something else: determination. She turned back to Alex, the gravity of their reality pressing heavily. We can't wait. Whatever is happening, we need to know. We need to know what is truly hidden in there. Without waiting for his answer, she moved. Fueled by a mix of dread and a fierce craving for truth, she stepped toward the altar of doom. The moon hung heavy above, shining a silvery light that beckoned her deeper into the heart of darkness. Wait, Maya! Alex shouted, but she was already past the threshold, the world outside fading behind her. In the oppressive silence, the air thickened. She could almost hear the thorny whispers, promising knowledge, convincing her to delve deeper. Yet, as she entered, a shadow flickered in the corner of her eye, the same gaunt figure, reappearing from the abyss. It pointed again, its expression one of warning, and the blood froze in her veins. This time, the howls of despair were louder, echoing in her mind, demandingly insistent, drowning out rational thought. What are you doing here? It seemed to say, and the words clawed at her spirit like a cold wind. Maya felt it, the weight of their discovery pushing down, and she wondered if the truth was worth the cost. What had they stumbled upon, and would they ever escape? As realization dawned, and the whispers grew louder, Maya took a step back. The darkness beckoned, but with it came the chilling fear of what she might uncover. In that moment of hesitation, she faced a choice: seek the truth or run from it. Would she dare confront the horrors that awaited her in the darkness, or would she decide that some secrets were best left buried? The decision loomed, heavy and tantalizing. Maya's trembling hands hovered at her sides, uncertainty flooding her mind. The darkness within the pyramid pulsated with an eerie allure, drawing her closer even as her instincts screamed for her to flee. Alex's frantic voice echoed in her ears, but it was muffled beneath the roar of her own heartbeat. Turn back. Maya, please. His words tugged at her, yet the pull of the shadows was intoxicating. Taking a deep breath, she stepped further inside, guided by the dim light filtering through cracked stones. Alex's presence lingered at her back, his fear palpable, but she had crossed a threshold. There was no turning back now. As she moved deeper into the pyramid, the air around her thickened, pressing in with a weight that felt almost alive. The howls from earlier swirled in her mind, memories of terror colliding with an insatiable urge to uncover the truth that lay within. The chamber opened up into a vast, dimly lit space, walls etched with intricate hieroglyphs that whispered stories of ancient pharaohs. But there was something else, an energy radiating from the center of the room, pulsating like a heartbeat. Maya, Alex whispered, the words barely a breath. Stay close, she replied, her voice steadier than she felt. She could see the flickering shadows shifting along the walls, almost like they were trying to tell her something, warn her. As they ventured further, the vibrant carvings on the stone seemed to twist into expressions of agony. Maya's pulse quickened as an overwhelming sensation surged through her, an understanding bloomed like a dark flower. This was no ordinary tomb, this was a prison. I can feel it, she murmured, stepping to the side to reveal an altar at the center, an ominous slab framed by ancient statues. Each statue seemed to guard a secret too heavy to bear. Maya, we shouldn't be here, Alex urged, his voice thick with dread. We need to leave now. But she was already mesmerized, her feet moving of their own accord toward the altar. Something flickered at the edge of her vision, a swirling mist gathering, reshaping itself into the gaunt figure. It loomed larger now, shadowy and spectre-like, its elongated fingers gesturing at the altar as if beckoning her closer. Do you see that? Maya breathed. The figure seemed to pulse with an almost tangible energy, its features shifting as if struggling to take form. Get back! Alex shouted, but before Maya could react, the figure surged forward, a flood of darkness engulfing the space, snuffing out the feeble light. Panic gripped her as the walls began to thrum, a deafening roar reverberating around them. The howls grew louder, the sounds of those trapped, echoing from beyond the veil of time, wailing in agony. Maya! We have to get out. Now! Alex tugged at her, but she was frozen, her eyes locked onto the figure. It began to dissolve like mist, and with it, screams morphed into pleading whispers, "Release us, free us!" Fury and terror battled within her, churning in her gut. They weren't the only ones awake in this place. She could feel the restless souls, the ancient fears pulsating in the air, desperate for release. Is that what this is? She thought aloud, horror dawning. A prison? The figure vanished completely, but its weight lingered, pressing down on her shoulders, heavier than the stones above. A chilling realization gripped her. Secrets of the ancients were not just tales, but traps set deep within history's shadows. Maya! Alex yanked her back, just as the ground beneath them trembled violently, threatening to swallow them whole. We need to run. She shouted, adrenaline surging. But as she turned to escape, the walls shimmered, engulfing them in an unshakable darkness that felt like an entity unto itself. Maya! Alex's voice seemed distant, his face a mixture of fear and resolve. It was the choice they had made that brought them here, curiosity unearthing layers of horror far beyond comprehension. What if their discovery had awakened something that should have remained buried? An ominous rumble echoed through the chamber, the stone walls beginning to crack and shift, as if responding to their presence. Is this it? Maya wondered, fear coiling in her stomach. Were they about to become the latest in a long line of lost souls? Just then, a brilliant flash of light erupted from the altar, illuminating the chamber in blinding brightness, slicing through the darkness like a knife. Get to the exit! She screamed, sensing that whatever chaos was unleashed would not stop until it consumed them. They ran, the room shaking violently beneath them, as Maya could only hope that their choice to seek the truth didn't seal their fate forever. Would they make it back into the light, or would they become part of the ancient whispers that echoed through the ages? The ground trembled beneath their feet, a brutal reminder that the pyramid was alive, its stone heart beating with an ancient fury. Maya and Alex bolted toward the exit, but the once straight path twisted in chaotic patterns, shadows dancing wildly around them. Maya, this way! Alex shouted, scrambling to keep his footing as dust swirled in the air. Fear gnawed at his insides. Was the exit really where they thought? Or was it another trick of the relentless darkness? They stumbled forward, desperate. Maya's breath came in ragged gasps, a weight pressing on her chest. The walls writhed, their glyphs contorting into various faces, all twisted in agony, pleading for release. She could still hear the whispers, echoing grotesquely, slicing through the chaos. Please help us stop. Don't listen. Alex yelled, yanking Maya back to reality just as a stone slab quaked above them, threatening to crush them in a tomb they had unwittingly disturbed. Maya glanced back. The specter had reformed, looming at the altar, its fingers trailing ghostly tendrils of darkness that snaked toward them. You must free us, it rasped, its voice a chilling caress that slithered into her mind. For a second, she felt drawn, a strange warmth enveloping her as if it understood her pain, her doubts. No, no! She cried, shaking her head furiously. She couldn't afford to be seduced by the terror itself. This entity was feeding off her fear and uncertainty. Let us go. Alex's panicked voice pulled her back, jolting her into action. They turned again, dodging falling rocks and dust clouds as the chamber itself felt like it wanted to collapse in on them. Each step was a fight against the pull of the shadows. Why is this happening? Maya shouted, her voice rising over the cacophony of chaos as they sprinted. What did we unleash? I don't know. I don't care. Alex replied, his wide eyes glimmering with desperation. Just keep moving. They barreled toward a flicker of light in the distance, their only hope. The whispers swelled, becoming a haunting chorus that echoed through the confined space, desperate and drawn out. Join us, become one with the endless. Maya's heart raced, fear suffocating, clawing at her throat. We want tea. We're not like you. She shouted, forcing out each word like a prayer. With every strained footfall, the chamber grew more hostile. Shadows flickered and lunged, reaching for them as if to pull them back into the void of despair. The walls seemed to press in tighter, their surface rippling with a malevolent life of its own. Maya, think. Alex urged as they approached the light, which burst forth like a beacon of hope against the suffocating darkness. What if we have to confront whatever this is? A horrible thought struck her. What if freedom came at a price? Drawing on their shared experience, she turned to him and said, what if we have to face it together? Stronger as one. The altar glowed with a weak, pulsating light, as if it were alive, holding its breath. The spectre stretched further, dark and daunting, drowning the faint glimmer as if it sensed their resolve. You cannot escape. You must join the cycle. Release, free us. No. Maya screamed, pushing dread deep down. They couldn't afford to be scared. Not now. She felt her thoughts align with purpose. Now. Alex shouted. With one last burst of energy, they lunged toward the light, their minds intertwined in resolve. The spectre charged, shadows whipping around them, as the altar throbbed, light met darkness in a cacophony of energy. As they leapt forward, a massive surge exploded, and for a brief moment, clarity emerged, their hearts synchronized with the echoes of past lives. But just as the light intensified, a powerful force slammed into them, throwing them back. Maya's eyes snapped open. She lay sprawled on cold stone, struggling to grasp the situation. The whispers faded, replaced by an echoing silence. Maya. Are you okay? Alex's voice broke through, but what she saw next sent a chill down her spine. They were no longer in the same chamber. The walls were smooth and bright. Statues that had haunted them stood still but somehow looked more vivid, alive. And at the center was a mirror. Reflections stared back at them, but they weren't just their own. Shadows loomed behind them, shifting, and eyes blinked out of the darkness, watching with cruel interest. Alex's voice cracked. Fear gripped her chest again. Had the horrors finally found them? Or was this a new domain, a different kind of prison altogether? An icy chill filled the new chamber, and with it, the dread of not knowing what awaited them. The mirror began to pulse, a portal of secrets long hidden, and as they stepped closer, the shadows surged forward. Were they witness or prey? They had to decide fast, to discover what lay on the other side or to flee again, risking everything they had uncovered. The choice was now theirs. Would they unveil the darkness or be swallowed whole by their own shadows? The mirror shimmered ominously as Maya and Alex approached, its surface swirling with dark tendrils as if the shadows themselves were alive. An unsettling charge crackled in the air. It felt like an invitation, yet a warning. Whatever lay beyond that glass kept them entranced and terrified. Maya, we can't trust this, Alex said, his voice barely a whisper. He gripped her arm tightly, his fingers trembled. But what if? She hesitated, caught between a yearning to understand and a primal urge to escape. The whispers from the shadows surged again, taunting them, embrace the truth, become one. No. We're not your puppets. Maya shouted, her insides twisted with anguish. The shadows flickered as if reacting to her rebellion. A sudden sound deep and resonant vibrated through the chamber, reverberating against the walls. Maya took a step back. Fear and curiosity warred within her. Maybe if we confront it, we can finally understand what is happening, she suggested, wary but resolved. Or we could end up trapped forever, Alex countered, panic creeping into his tone. That thing wants us to join them. You hear them? His eyes widened, darting to the swirling figures in the mirror. I hear them, but I don't want to become them. We need knowledge to break this cycle. Suddenly, the surface of the mirror rippled violently. Maya and Alex gasped as faces materialized, some familiar, others not, contorted in terror. Friends, family, even strangers trapped in the reflections, countless souls intertwined in a nightmare where the lines between the living and the lost blurred. What if those are the souls who tried to devour the shadows? Maya's heart raced as a sickening thought crossed her mind. A chill shot through her, realizing the possibilities that lay in exploring this new realm. No way. It could be a trap. We'd just break free from the pyramid only to surrender ourselves to this. Alex's voice trembled, his eyes glued to the mirror. But Maya was already stepping forward, the pulsating light strangely alluring. We need to know what it wants, she breathed, the weight of this moment anchoring her feet. The shadows beckoned, and she felt drawn, almost hypnotized. Maya, wait. Alex lunged, but the ground shifted. It undulated beneath their weight. The whole chamber was alive, reacting to their presence. The air turned electric, buzzing against their skin. The mirror erupted. A blinding light poured forth, spilling shadows and brilliance, illuminating the dread etched on the trapped souls within. The whispers climbed to a crescendo, "Join us, reveal the darkness." Maya's heart thundered as she reached out, her fingertips brushing the surface. The heat from the mirror consumed her. "Don't!" Alex shouted, fear mixing with a stubborn determination. He grabbed her arm, pulling her back just as she lost herself in the light. The room spiraled, visions swirling, they were back in the chamber, the overwhelming terror threatening to swallow them. This time, however, a singular truth was clear: the answer was here, hidden within the mirror. Alex straightened, his features hardened with resolve. "We can't run anymore, Maya. We need to look into it. Together." As one, they stepped forward on shaking legs. Shadows pressed in, but the mirror's glow intensified, filling the space around them with blinding brilliance. The hidden secrets, the myths that had bound them until now, were aching to be unearthed. Everything fell silent, the shadows ceased their movements, suspended in time. The mirror pulsed with life demanding, pleading. Maya took a deep breath, her heart racing. "Whatever it is, we face it together." Just as they stepped fully into the realm of reflections, a shattering crack ruptured through the silence. Suddenly, an unmistakable voice, deep and chilling, roared in anger. "No one escapes the cycle." The world around them splintered, and for a brief second, they were weightless, suspended in the void. What lay ahead? A revelation awaiting them or an ultimate doom? The lines shrank, and the descent into darkness felt imminent. Would they find clarity or become part of the legions screaming to be free? As the shadows threatened to consume them again, they felt the pull stronger than ever. With a jolting force, they plunged forward into the mirror, sending a shockwave through the air. And then, darkness fell. Maya and Alex landed with a heavy thud, the air filled with a thick, unnerving stillness. As they regained their senses, they blinked against the stark brightness that enveloped them. The ground beneath them felt smooth like glass, but reflected nothing but an endless void. They stood together, tightly gripping each other, hearts pounding like war drums. "Maya, where are we?" Alex's voice trembled, echoing into the darkness. The weight of uncertainty pressed down on them, a palpable force guiding their eyes toward an ethereal glow in the distance. It flickered like a candle, promising answers yet cloaked in shadows. Let us go to that light," Maya whispered. Each step felt surreal, an unnatural journey deeper into a world that defied all logic. As they approached the flickering light, the edges began to morph and twist, revealing what appeared to be a massive tree, a sacred tree with twisted roots resembling long-lost fingers clawing at the ground. The branches reached high, crowned with shimmering leaves that sparkled like stars. But among the beauty, an unsettling familiarity washed over Maya. There was an aura of dread that seemed woven into the very fabric of this realm, a whispering darkness that made her skin crawl. It's like a memory I can't recall," she murmured, glancing nervously at Alex. Before he could respond, the ground trembled again, sending ripples through the solid surface. Again, the resounding voice echoed, cold and mighty. The cycle continues. You cannot escape your fate. Maya felt her heart sink. What does that even mean? She searched Alex's face for reassurance, but found him staring, wide-eyed, at the tree. Look! He pointed, breath hitching in his throat. The tree's bark began to shift, revealing faces carved into its trunk, those of the very souls they had seen in the mirror. Anguished faces twisted in despair, eyes pleading for release. They are trapped, just like us, Maya breathed, horror washing over her. Join us. End the pain. The faces roared, their voices melding together into a terrifying chorus. The wailing seemed to absorb into the roots, sending tremors through Maya's entire being. She staggered backward, pulling Alex with her. We have to get out of here. No. He said suddenly. What if this tree is the key? What if understanding it could what, Alex? Free us. It's feeding off their suffering. Maya shouted, her voice rising amidst the cacophony. The chilling reality pressed in on her, they might not be free, but merely walking deeper into a trap. The shadows surrounding them thickened. The whispers returned, more persistent, more seductive. Embrace your fate. Join us, join us. With each insistence, Maya felt her grip on reality slip. The air became thick with despair, sending a searing cold through her bones. She grasped Alex's hand tighter. We stay. We have to fight this. Just as they turned to run, a part of the tree snapped forward, its tendrils seeming to breathe in the air around them. They wrapped around the two like serpents, pulling them toward the bark, the screaming faces growing louder, drowning out rational thought. That in a desperate push, Maya shouted, let go of us. We are not a part of your cycle. And then, with a sudden burst of power fueled by sheer desperation, they pulled away, breaking free from the inching tendrils. The tree shuddered, and the faces twisted in anguish, but time was running out. The shadows lunged as a malevolent surge swept toward them. They dove into the thick darkness, hoping for an escape. Suddenly, the fabric of reality split apart once more, revealing a rift swirling with light and dark, beckoning them toward uncharted territory. Maya, do you trust me? Alex shouted, naively yet boldly, as the abyss reached for them. Always. She yelled back, taking his hand. Together, they leapt into the chaos, bracing for whatever awaited them on the other side. What would they find? Freedom, or yet another nightmare? As the shadows howled and the light engulfed them, the only certainty was that the truth lay ahead, ready to unravel their fates. They landed hard again, the impact sending a jolt through their bodies. Darkness slipped away like sand through their fingers, replaced by a warm, claustrophobic light. Maya blinked, her heart thundering. They were no longer in the vast emptiness, but inside what felt like an ancient temple, its walls adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to come alive under the flickering torches. Where are we? She gasped, looking around. The air was heavy with the scent of incense, and murmurs echoed softly, whispering secrets she couldn't quite grasp. Alex stepped forward, cautious anew. I don't know, but I feel watched. His gaze darted around, scanning the shadows. Giant stone statues loomed over them, guardians of this realm, their features both stern and sorrowful. Expressions frozen in time, but Maya felt as if they were aware, as if they saw the fear saturating her soul. We need to keep moving, she urged, clutching his arm tightly. The sound of soft chanting began to rise around them. Distant, haunting. Was it a warning? The rhythmic cadence echoed the way her heartbeat raced. Each step they took stirred up more shadows, thickening the air with the weight of approaching darkness. Suddenly, a voice emerged, sharp and clear, slicing through the murmurs. To know your fate, you must face the guardian. A tall, hooded figure materialized from the gloom, its eyes glimmering with an unnatural light. Maya's breath hitched. What do you mean? What fate? The figure raised a hand, revealing a glowing scarab that danced between its fingers, pulsating with energy. The cycle binds you. To escape, you must confront the truth of your existence. Is that the key? Alex interjected, glancing at Maya with urgency. Can that scarab free us? The guardian stepped closer, the air thickening with tension. Truth can be a heavy burden. Are you prepared to know what lies ahead? Maya exchanged a glance with Alex, the unspoken fear hanging heavy between them. What if we don't? She whispered. Then the cycle will ensnare you once more, the guardian intoned. You were chosen for a reason. Embrace your destiny or suffer its consequences. A pit formed in her stomach, nauseating dread spiraling out of control. Could they trust this entity? Fear tangled with something else, curiosity, perhaps. Playing safe felt like a betrayal to their plight. Okay, she said, swallowing hard. What do we have to do? With a nod, the guardian extended the scarab, the glowing light washing over them. Maya reached out, her hand shaking. Just before contact, the wild whispers surged, rattling her thoughts. Accept the truth. It won't hurt much. Suddenly, the visions bombarded her, flickering memories of lives not entirely her own. She saw glimpses of past jackals and pharaohs, of desperate struggles, of sacrifices made in the darkness. She felt a pull, twisting her insides, dragging her from one painful reality to another. Each face echoed agony and hope, and she cried out, a sound lost amidst the chaos. Alex grasped her wrist, grounding her. Maya. Fight it. The guardian smirked, as if feeding off her turmoil. Every choice leads to a consequence. Maya's heart raced, caught between what was, what could be, and what must not happen. The glowing scarab pulsed wildly, dragging her toward the brink of revelation, danger curling at its edges. She had to fight through, to uncover the truth. Don't let go. She shouted, the bond between them a thin thread against overwhelming darkness. But a searing pain coursed through her as the visions clamped down harder, blurring the lines of reality and truth. She could hear the screams and cries of those imprisoned, felt their pain merged with hers, draining her will. Just as despair threatened to swallow her whole, she caught a whisper amongst the chaos, urgent and familiar. Fight back. You are not alone. A wave of warmth flooded through her, igniting a spark of determination. Maya focused on Alex, pulling strength from their connection, pushing against the grip of the shadows swirling around them. The guardian stepped back, surprised, its command faltering. The scarab's glow intensified, and with it, Maya felt the tide shift. Hold on. Together. She urged Alex, grounding herself, feeling their combined will ignite, but before they could fully reclaim their strength, the temple walls shook violently. The guardian's eyes darkened, a whisper slinking back into silence. You dare defy your fate? Maya and Alex steadied their breathing, readying for what came next. In this battle for truth, the next confrontation loomed like a shadow, heavy and uncertain. What awaited them in the depths of hidden fears? Would they uncover the truth or become just another echo lost in the cycle? As the stones creaked and shadows loomed closer, they braced for what came next. The ground trembled beneath their feet, a deep rumble that echoed through the ancient stone walls. Maya's heart raced in time with the vibrations, a primal fear clawing at her throat. The guardian loomed larger, its shadow stretching across the chamber, engulfing everything in darkness. What is happening? She shouted, barely able to hear her own voice over the increasing chaos. The scent of burning incense intensified, wrapping her like a shroud. Alex's grip on her wrist tightened, grounding her amidst the turmoil. Don't let it break us. He yelled back, his eyes flashing with determination. The guardian's eerie smile widened, as if feeding off their anxiety. You cannot run from your fate, it hissed, the voice resonating like a deep bell tolling doom. You must find the key within yourselves and face the truth or succumb to the abyss. A crack split the air, and the carvings on the walls began to shift, revealing swirling images of pharaohs, battles, and lost souls. Maya felt her breath hitch as she stumbled back, the stories seemingly reaching out to her. They were all intertwined, a tapestry of pain, loss, and ancient magic. You have to see it, Maya. Alex urged, his voice piercing through her confusion. It's not just about us, this is bigger than anything we imagined. As if provoked, the chamber quaked more violently. Stone fell from the ceiling, dust spiraling down, choking the air. The sepulchral chants grew louder, a cacophony of despair that pulled at her very core. Each syllable seemed to weave into her skin, tugging her toward the hidden truth. Fight it! Maya cried out, forcing her eyes to meet the floating scarab still hovering between them, its light dimmed in the chaos. We have to reach it. The flickering light danced like the last ember of hope. Suddenly, the wall opposite them burst open, exposing an endless expanse of night sky filled with swirling galaxies, endless starlight, an awe-inspiring, cosmic transition. Maya's breath caught in her throat. A portal? Or a trap? Look! Alex pointed toward the anomaly, a pinprick of possibility against despair. It might be our way out. We have to go. But the Guardian stepped forward, blocking their escape. You think you are ready? Its voice dripped with mockery. You must willingly embrace the truth. Maya could feel the weight of its gaze, dissecting her fears, her deepest regrets. Memories surged back, her childhood fears of losing herself, of becoming trapped in a cycle of sameness. The essence of doubt wrapped around her heart like barbed wire, pulling her deeper into despair. No! She shouted, pulling herself up, her voice breaking through the fog of confusion. I want to let you define me. In that moment of clarity, the scarab surged back with renewed brilliance. Clutching Alex's hand, they stepped toward the Guardian, each pulse of the scarab igniting a fire in Maya's heart. We choose our destiny. She declared, feeling power coursing through her veins. The chamber flooded with an incandescent light, illuminating the ancient carvings that once felt ominous. The Guardian faltered, and shadows recoiled as if burnt by their brilliance. Maya felt the truth weave through the fabric of her being. She was part of this world, part of the darkness and light that fought for existence. With one last push, they thrust forward, reaching for the glowing scarab. But just as their fingers brushed the surface, the ground beneath them began to crack, fissures spreading like veins, dark and sinister. The Guardian roared in fury, face twisted in rage. You will pay for this defiance. Maya's heart dropped. Were they to be swallowed whole by this darkness? Shaking off the dread, she prepared to dive into the brilliance. Together, Alex. Now. They leaped. The moment they fell into the glow, the chaos whirled around them. Whispers turned into screams, and as the darkness engulfed them, they felt the weight of 1,000 lifetimes pressing down what awaited them in this new realm. Would they finally uncover the hidden answers, or were they simply wandering deeper into the abyss? The truth was close, yet peril felt just out of reach. As the light flickered and shadows threatened to take them once more, they braced for the unknown. Maya and Alex plunged into the light, surrendering to the swirling energies that promised either salvation or doom. It felt like being hurled through the heavens, stars flashing past them, a cascade of shimmering colors pulling them apart and back together again. When they landed, it was soft yet firm, and a cascading rush of warmth enveloped them like a welcome blanket. They blinked against the brilliance, struggling to comprehend their surroundings. Gone were the looming shadows and the prickling fear. Before them lay a serene expanse, a lush valley bathed in warm sunlight, speckled with vibrant wildflowers swaying gently in the breeze. This can't be real, Maya murmured, awestruck. Where are we? I don't know, Alex replied, turning in a circle to take it all in. But I feel different. Like something has shifted. Within the valley stood a magnificent tree, its leaves shining as if they were forged from gold. The air hummed with a soft melody, a sound so sweet and inviting that Maya's heart ached. Is it calling us? She wondered out loud. It felt as if the tree knew them, whispered their names, beckoning them closer. In a haze of confusion and curiosity, they took tentative steps toward it. With every inch, Maya felt an intoxicating surge of hope, love, a connection that seemed to bridge every divide. As they neared, the melodies grew clearer, wrapping around their beings, filling in cracks they didn't even know existed. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the tree, ethereal and radiant. It was cloaked in light, with eyes sparkling like the stars. "Welcome, brave souls." Maya gasped. "Are you?" "I am a guardian of this realm," the figure spoke, its voice comforting yet powerful. "You have faced trials that would break many, yet here you stand, unyielding." "Trials? Is this a reward?" Alex asked, voice shaking with tentative hope. "Your courage to confront your fears has led you here, to this sanctuary," the guardian explained, a gentle smile gracing its lips. "But paths are many, and each choice you have made has carved your journey. Not only for yourselves but for those who came before." Maya felt a swell in her chest, piecing together the echoes of the past they had encountered, the desperate souls trapped within the pyramid. "What about them?" "They linger still, bound to their choices," the guardian nodded. "But you have the power to change that." "Change it?" Alex stammered. "How?" "By embracing their pain, understanding it, and offering them a path to freedom." "Why us?" Maya challenged, confusion swirling in her mind. "We're just us." "Just is not a truth," the guardian replied, its gaze piercing. "You have the capacity to feel deeply, to face darkness and strip away the fear. That is strength. You have it within you to heal others." Maya's heart raced. This was it. The truth they had sought, the purpose behind their journey. "What do we need to do?" "You must return, accept the burden that weighs upon the souls of the lost, and guide them back to light. Only then can the cycle be broken." Fear gripped her again. "Return? Back into the abyss? Are you asking us to face that horror again?" "Yes, for that is where your strength lies," the guardian emphasized. "You have already tasted the darkness and survived. Now you must embody the light." Alex squeezed her hand. "Maya, we can do this. We've come this far. We can't fail them again." "Together," she whispered, clenching her fists as determination surged. With a swift motion, the guardian raised its arms, illuminating the valley in a stunning display of colors. The light enveloped them, carrying the warmth and peace of this sanctuary deep into their souls. "Remember, you are not alone. The tree shall guide you in your quest." The world around them blurred, spinning as colors blurred into one another until they were back at the entrance of the pyramid. Faces peered through the darkness, souls trapped in uncertainty, eyes wide with fear and longing. Maya stood tall. "We are here. You are not alone." The whispers of the trapped souls grew in intensity, eager and desperate. "Help us, please." Maya turned to Alex, his face stricken with concern. "We can't let the darkness take us again. Not if we lean into the light we found." He responded, determination rekindling in his eyes. They gathered strength, stepping forward together. The shadows loomed, swaying like predators, yet Maya pressed her palms together, summoning the memories of the valley, the sacred tree, and the healing light. "Let us free them!" she shouted, her voice echoing powerfully against the stone walls. Belief surged. Light erupted from their joined hands, breaking through the shadows that tried to pull them away. Waves of illumination splashed across the chamber, energizing the ancient carvings above them, reflecting a universe where despair did not rule. "Release your pain," Maya urged the voices around her. "Embrace your truth. Come into the light with us." As they channeled their resolve, the trapped souls found clarity within the chaos. One by one, silvery forms began to emerge from the darkness, bathed in the golden glow they had summoned. Maya's heart soared as the souls floated upward, joining the swirling light. The cries of agony transformed into whispers of liberation, filling the chamber with warmth and hope. "Yes. You're free. You are free." Maya screamed, tears flooding her eyes. As the last vestiges of darkness lifted, the air vibrated with relief. The anxiety that had plagued them faded, replaced with a profound sense of belonging. Together, they collapsed, panting on the dust-covered stone, but filled with new life. The power of truth, of light and liberation rushed through them. "You did it," Alex looked at her. "We did it." With a radiant smile, Maya beamed, knowing they had rewritten their fate. No longer were they just witnesses. They were the bearers of hope, the carriers of light breaking through the darkest of shadows. As they stood up, the view of the returning sunlight shone brightly through the pyramid's entrance, illuminating everything with glorious possibilities. They walked out into the bright sun, stepping into a future adorned with life, laughter, and infinite possibilities because they chose to face their fears. The echo of their journey faded behind them, a soft whisper reminding them that every step forward carried the weight of choice, courage, and love, that they could turn dark beginnings into illuminating ends, and that truth would stay with them, a guiding light, forever. Now it's your turn. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive story that's just waiting for you. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm that fuels our journey together. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this powerful ending. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to experience this conclusion too. This is the moment to show your support and join our community of brave souls.